I mean, isn't all this just hot air? I mean, the reality is, the reason people come is because they know that if they get here, they're going to stay here. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend all this money. So, is the answer not to make sure that the message goes out that if you get to Britain, you don't stay in Britain? And is that...
This video is an MP losing his patience with a Home Office minister over their refusal or inability to deal with illegal immigration. He says they are coming because they all know they will get to stay and everything will be free. Any wonder the British people are fed up when you listen to this conversation? All you get from the Home Office guy in response is government rhetoric. We need to make the crossings unviable and stopping the gangs will do that, blah, blah, blah. The MP said if they knew they wouldn't get to stay, then they wouldn't come in the first place. The problem is, once here, even if we wanted to deport them, and let's be clear, the vast majority get their claims accepted, and the ones that don't get to stay. But even if that wasn't the case, unless another country accepts them, there is no way to send them, so they get to stay anyway. The MP kept asking about a deal with France. Well, that would be great, but France is escorting the boats into our territorial waters. And no wonder when our lifeboats pick them up and bring them all here where they get to stay. It's looking like the only solution is to stop the boats from landing on our shores in the first place. If France is prepared to escort the boats to our waters, we need to be prepared to escort those boats straight back to France. We all know none of this will be done, and the numbers will just keep on exponentially increasing. It's going to take someone with serious courage to change the narrative on this. Here's the exchange in Parliament.
I mean, isn't all this just hot air? I mean, the reality is, the reason people come is because they know that if they get here, they're going to stay here. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend all this money. So, is the answer not to make sure that the message goes out that if you get to Britain, you don't stay in Britain? And is that also not in the interest of the French? Because this problem will dry up very, very quickly if people realise there's zero prospect of it. So what do we do to actually get to the root cause of this, rather than just talk about spending money all the time? I mean, what are you doing to prevent that?
Mr. Holloway, you get to the nub of the issue, and that is why I believe, and why the government believes, the new plan for immigration and delivering that through the Nationality and Borders Bill is so absolutely vital. What we have to do is we have to render the Channel route unviable, and that involves, for example, the additional offences that we're introducing through the bill to act as a deterrent. It is why we need to improve case working rates, and what we need to ensure is that there is improvement in that regard, so that cases are processed more quickly.
Why can't you just make a deal with the French?
And
that
people
you
are
pick
removed
someone up
who have...
and you take them straight back to France. That's entirely in the French interest as well.
Well, what I'd say on returns agreements is that that is, of course, something that we continue to work towards. You will know.
You could do it tomorrow. Well, you could do it tomorrow.
You will note, Mr. Holloway, that we offered, as part of our withdrawal from the European Union, a comprehensive returns arrangement, which the European Union decided not to adopt. We clearly need to continue to discuss that with our European friends and neighbours. But it's also about tackling this issue at source. And, for example, we have had some success around securing returns agreements with countries.
But, I mean, you speak about at source. I mean, absolutely, at source. If the message goes out that if you get picked up by us and you get taken back to France, and therefore there is no prospect of staying in Britain, the message will go out at source that it's not worth doing it. So why do we not have an agreement with the French? We pick someone up, we take them straight back to Calais. It's in the French interest as well.
We have to render the Channel route unviable.
That's what I'm saying.
That is what we are working towards. But there is no one single solution to that problem.
It can be done tomorrow.
That is why the arrangement with the French is very important.
Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that tomorrow? What's the reason? There must be a reason why we can't do it.
You will appreciate that the French would have to agree to that happening.
We can't do it because the French won't allow us to do it. So the French
in order to take individuals back in the way that you are describing,
Individuals, thousands of
would
people, not
require
individuals, tens of thousands now.
would require the French, for
So the
example,
French won't
to
help us
agree
with
to that
this.
arrangement.
So the French aren't helping us with this.
But I think one of the points I was making was in relation to trying to speed up caseworking and then also to return people with no right to be here more quickly.